News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Well, President Trump did it again. He did retail campaigning, and he did extremely well. Look at this. Here he is at McDonald's yesterday in Festerville, Pennsylvania, and look in Bucks County, a very critical county to win. Here he is.
She actually worked in a McDonald's. She didn't.
That's them going after McDonald's. Here is another one. This is the one I want.
You guys, I'm looking for a job, and I've always wanted to work at McDonald's, but I never did. Never touched by a human hand. Nice and clean.
Mr. President, you made it possible for ordinary people like us to meet.
You're not ordinary.
I mean, thank you so much.
You are not ordinary. I can see. You worked for 15 minutes more than Kamala.
Are you going to put this on your resume?
I never worked here.
That was incredible. I worked here at McDonald's for 15 minutes more than Kamala ever did. It was brilliant. Festerville, Pennsylvania. He wore a red tie with his McDonald's apron. And I loved it. He looked like a fish in water. He was having fun. The left is freaking out because you're not allowed to have a great moment. You cannot relate to normal people. We're the ones, as Kamala has Lizzo, who has her own jet, strutting into the limousine saying, this is how real B-words do it. And that's not how the American people do it, is it? Usher and all this other stuff, celebrating her 60th birthday. And then Trump goes to the Steelers game, which also they got so mad about. Here's more on his interaction with the fries. This is an Indian man. Listen to him and his wife in the drive-thru. Trump is serving them in the drive-thru. This is beautiful. This couple is incredibly sweet.
You made it possible for ordinary people like us to meet.
You're not ordinary.
I mean, thank you so much.
You are not ordinary. I can see.
We pray for you, and you are the type of person we want to be the president.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
So nice. Thank you very much. Yeah, I took a bullet. That's right.
Thank you, Mr. President.
When you think about it, I guess that's right. Thank you very much. Beautiful wife. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Great honor. Have fun.
All right, there he is. He's at the drive-thru. Oh, my gosh, dude. And then here he is when he arrived. Listen to these people. This is insane. On the streets of Festerville, Pennsylvania. It's like a block or two long, and it's like 6 to 8 feet people deep the whole way. It is absolutely incredible what he did. And I think that's why the left is mad. And then look at the front page cover of the biggest newspapers in the state. The Philadelphia Inquirer on the front cover today says Trump's goal in Philly to lose by a little bit less in Philadelphia, where, it's hard to beat. And there he is in the drive-thru, a huge picture of him on there. The only thing just as big or slightly bigger is the Pittsburgh Steelers picture. And then also to the left, it says the former president sees a path to winning Pennsylvania through an unlikely place, the state's largest liberal bastion. And then also the next page here, I have this is all on my Twitter feed, the Pittsburgh Tribune Review. It says, Trump's a bonus. Steelers fans say football comes first. Not sold on Wilson yet, whoever Wilson is. But there is Trump at the stadium box. And then right next to it, another Trump story at the top of the fold. Trump trades rallies for fries at PA McDonald's. And there he is in the drive-thru talking to reporters with his McDonald's uniform on. Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. At the top of the fold, Trump drums up support during tour of PA. Candidate appears at rally, McDonald's, and Steelers game. Oh, my gosh. You guys, that's above the Steelers winning 37 over the Jets over 37-15, which is big news too to Pittsburgh Ganders, I guess is what they call them. Anyways, isn't that remarkable? And now we have more information. First of all, the Real Clear Politics average of polls. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. He's winning in every one of the swing state polls now in a Real Clear Politics average of polls, and many more that are looking really good for him. Doesn't mean he's going to win, but it looks incredible right now. I want to hear from you right now. Do you think Kamala's chances of winning are over? And why, if you do think that her chances of winning are over? They got excited. The people out there, they got the sugar high. They wanted more, and they learned more, and they didn't like what they've seen. Many of them are going back to Trump. How brilliant was Trump's working at McDonald's? And do you think Kamala ever really worked at McDonald's? You're not going to believe what I have from multiple outlets. Nobody can confirm with McDonald's. Nobody can confirm with her. There's no proof of any of it from anywhere. There's no witnesses that worked with her. And how effective is Trump's closing ad, which I'm going to play for you in a second, saying that she, as in Kamala, this is the NPR affiliate in North Carolina says literally, I cannot turn on. He's like, this guy says I watch football, a lot of football on the weekends. I can't turn it on without watching over and over again the Trump ad showing Kamala talking about transgender sex surgery reassignment for prisoners and for illegals. And the commercial's theme is she's for they, them, Trump's for you. So my question on that is, how effective is his closing ad saying she's for they, them, Trump is for you? So do you think her chances of winning Kamala's are over? Her chances are over, and why? And how brilliant was Trump working at McDonald's yesterday? I thought it was incredibly brilliant. I thought it was incredibly awesome. It was the most touching, funny, and incredible and high-lifting spirit thing that I've seen. She's not showing joy anymore. She's flashing anger and angst and such, and he's spreading joy and cheer and fun and laughter. It's pretty amazing. And when you're the last person that's focused in the election, I heard last week, and I shared this with you, it blew me away. One of the pollsters said when you're the last person focused in the campaign before the polls close, you lose. And it is not good for her right now. And he's the one laughing. He's in the catbird seat. Here's his commercial. We have 3 lines open. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Here's his commercial. Actually, I'm going to play his commercial coming up next right out of the box. It is Kamala is for they, them. Trump is for you. So I want to hear from you right now. We have 3 lines open. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. I will play that Trump ad, and I have much, much more. Trump at the barbershop, too. I haven't seen her do any of this stuff. And the latest polling on the swing states, every one of them in the Real Clear Politics average of polls, Trump is up now in every single swing state, even Nevada and Wisconsin. That is next on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. At 8:15, coming up next on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Angie in Decatur will put you up right out of the box, coming up next on the Chris Crock Show.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
It's hard to believe, but it's true. Even the liberal media was shocked Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners and illegal aliens.
Every transgender inmate would have access.
Kamala's for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
That is airing on football commercials on Saturday and Sunday, NFL and college, over and over and over again, only in the swing states. So do you think Kamala's chances of winning are over? If so, why? And how brilliant was Trump to work at McDonald's yesterday in Festerville, Pennsylvania? Do you think Kamala has ever worked at a McDonald's? According to Snopes, which is very liberal, they researched it. They reached out to McDonald's, and they also reached out to the Kamala campaign. And their conclusion is, are you ready for this? Where did it go? And their conclusion is, drumroll please, undetermined. They say it's undetermined because they simply cannot confirm it. and therefore there is no confirmation even by liberal Snopes. Separately, the same thing with the Daily Mail. They have checked with both McDonald's and Kamala, and they also have searched. Employees at the franchise in Alameda, California, have told the Telegraph they have been sworn to secrecy not to speak about Harris to reporters. She never spoke about working at McDonald's until she ran for president in 2019. It was not on her resume submitted after college when she applied for a job. There's nothing about McDonald's on there, so there's absolutely no record whatsoever from her or from McDonald's or from anybody. So there's your answer. It's not proven by anyone, anywhere, including her and her campaign. Oh, here he is, Snopes. The claim is rated unproven. We've reached out to Kamala and McDonald's. We'll have an update with this report if or when we learn more. And that was on August 27th. Nobody ever responded between August 27th and today. And then in sum, they wrote, until we uncover further evidence to corroborate or disprove Harris's story, we rate this claim as unproven. So there's no proof at all whatsoever from anybody, anywhere. And so I'm going to ask you right now at 800-288-WBAP, 4 lines open. Chime in right now. We have time for you. 800-288-WBAP. Do you think Kamala's chances of winning are over, and why? And how brilliant was Trump to work at McDonald's yesterday? Do you think Kamala ever really worked at McDonald's? And how effective is Trump's closing ad saying she's for they, them? Trump's for you. I think it's terribly effective and damning. Angie, Decatur, WBAP.
Yes, I just want to say that, yes, that, her chances seem to be, diminishing and cautiously.
Yes, that's a good way of saying it. Cautiously diminishing.
That President Trump has a way to connect with people because he's real. He's not fake. He doesn't try to fake like she does. That little stuff she pulled up.
Something's up with your phone where I can barely understand what you're saying half the time. Something's up with your phone.
Uh-oh.
There you go.
Can you hear me a little bit better?
Yeah, a lot better.
Oh, okay. That stunt that that when she went to that convenience store, it was just so, you could tell it was so forced.
The Wawa, yeah.
And when President Trump went into the restaurant, it's like, I don't know if it's all the positive, vibe that people give him and routinely love him because he's real. He's not fake. He's real. He really cares about the people. He really cares about our country. He really wants everyone to succeed and everyone to have. He wants to put us first. Well, Kamala and her administration are putting other countries and other people, illegals, and everybody else before us Americans.
It's funny. They do not understand why men and why blacks and Hispanics are breaking for Trump. The numbers on Trump are now getting the levels of they were at Nixonian levels, which are haven't been seen since Nixon. But now the numbers are looking like the Jewish vote is right now. I have an article talking about it written by a Jewish professor at Northwestern. He wrote an editorial today searing Kamala about her policies with Iran, saying that the numbers that are on record right now in the polling shows that Trump is getting the highest Jewish support of any Republican on record ever among Jews.
Wonderful.
It's just because he wants Israel to finish the job and to kill the terrorists, period, hands down. He said when he was asked about Israel, should they take out their nuclear weapons sites, the nuclear sites, and he said absolutely. Biden and Kamala said no. I have played you audio of Kamala that was shocking. She literally said, I've seen the maps, and Israel should not go into Rafah. Do not go into Rafah. They said, screw you, idiot, to her and Joe. They went into Rafah, and they just killed the architect of October 7th, and Yahya Sinwar. And if they had listened to them, the architect of October 7th would be alive and well with his wife, who was just seen in a tunnel with him moments before he came out and was flushed out. She has a $32,000 handbag on her with her burqa in a tunnel. A $32,000 handbag. While those folks there suffer, and they keep voting, I have no sympathy for them. 72% of them still support the Jew killing, raping, and murdering and hostage-taking Hamas after they killed and raped and murdered the Jews and took them hostage. So they get what they deserve, and I don't want one of them coming here. But they're oppressed by those people. They're murdered and slaughtered and mistreated by those people, and they don't give a damn for them, and they have $32,000 handbags. Screw them all, and they get what they deserve. So Trump says finish the job. Kamala says no, and it will stop them from finishing the job and winning. So I appreciate your call, Angie. Thank you. Do you think Kamala's chances of winning are over, and why? How brilliant was Trump to work at McDonald's yesterday? And do you think Kamala ever really worked at McDonald's? I've got a couple articles on this. Two of them. McDonald's claims they are missing Kamala's employment history. I also have some of the breakdowns of the numbers. They are terrible for her as of late. I have, for the first time ever, The Hill and its formula it does for polling and predictions. And it now has Trump, for the first time, winning the election as of today. I will tell you by how many electoral votes. I have the Real Clear Politics battlegrounds of battleground states, the average of every poll to this moment. He is leading in every one of them right now. I have it's incredible, the numbers, how much he has outspent Trump and still is losing. The betting markets are showing even more support for a Trump win. And Pennsylvania and its Senate race, and also the Wisconsin Senate race, none of them are trending in the right direction for Democrats, to the point, and in Michigan, to the point where the people running for the U.S. Senator job right now are putting Trump in their ads and showing how they work together with Trump, when these same people voted to impeach him and said the most vile things since Hillary Clinton called us despicable deplorables. You're going to hear about all that coming up next to the Chris Crock Show. We have 4 lines open at 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Also coming up next, nothing worked. The New York sex assault case, the Stormy Daniels case, the businesses were fined $400 million for a perfect loan, Jack Smith and the January 6th documents, Russian collusion, threat to democracy, and there's other things. Nothing seems to be working. It's unbelievable. Why? I'll tell you that coming up next on the Chris Crock Show. All this begins at 8:33 on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Chris Crock Show. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Listen to the media freak out about Trump's McDonald's appearance.
She actually worked in a McDonald's. She didn't go and pander and disrespect McDonald's workers by standing there in your red tie and take a picture.
Who worked briefly as a fry cooker. Without a hairnet, I might add.
He is so inept at pretending to be a real person that he really, literally cannot operate the fry machine as a normal worker. This just shows what an ultimate fraud he is.
I still found these images to be jarring.
Well, there's no logic to it. It's a stunt. He's engaged in some really bizarre types of activities during this campaign.
None of that makes any sense other than we're jealous that he looks so good and we don't. It's just pretty dumb from their side. They don't sound good. They sound angry because of his successful appearance. Nobody said it didn't it hurt him. Nobody said it didn't do well. Nobody said it hurt him. It didn't hurt him. What did I say? What did I say? I said what I said. Nobody thinks he actually got hurt except for people like that are way out there. Here's where the real bad news starts to happen from Sunday and Monday today. The presidential election predictions from The Hill. Trump now has a 52% chance of winning the presidency. Trump takes lead for the first time in The Hill's formula of who's going to win here. He's also listened to this. Republicans are now favored to win the Congress. 71% chance of winning the Senate, according to The Hill's formula, and a 54% chance of retaining control of the House. The prediction market in the bettors, two of them predict it, shows a 57% chance of winning. Poly market, 62% chance of winning. And then it soared again. The Daily Mail election model now shows Trump winning with 65.9% of simulations. On Friday, he was at 61.4%, so he shot up 5.5 points over the weekend to today. Also, We have Pennsylvania's Senate race for the first time in this entire election cycle, moving from the very not pro-Trump Cook political report. Bob Casey's reelection went from likely Democrat to now a toss-up between him and the Republican Dave McCormick, which is insane that finally broke. Tammy Baldwin has ads, a very liberal senator up for re-election. She is now putting Trump in her ads, but yet a new ad is showing by her opponent, Eric Hovde, Trump, where Baldwin said not too long ago, Trump might be one of the most offensive, hateful, and unacceptable presidential candidates we've ever had. So what does that say about the people who support him? She's trying to get them to vote for her now. And they're saying, well, no. So both sides that want to win in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania are now featuring Trump. What the heck? You think that? Why would you do that? Holy crap. Also, on September 1st, in Nate Silver's 538 election forecast, Kamala was leading Trump in September 1st by 10 points, 55 to 45. The next month, October 1st, she was leading by, again, 10 points, 55 to 45. Now Trump leads by 6 points, 47-53. In the meantime, Politico says Harris outraised Trump more than 3-1. It doesn't matter, does it? That's what happened with Hillary. Second, third of all, fourth of all, whatever it is, the Real Clear Politics average of polling takes the last, 5, 6, 7 polls in each swing state. This is bad news for Harris. Arizona, Trump average is now 1.6% in the average of polls. Nevada, Trump is up 0.8% in the average of polls. Wisconsin, Trump up 0.2%. Michigan, 1.2%. Trump is up. Pennsylvania, 0.8%. North Carolina, 0.5%. Georgia, 1.8. Wow. That almost 2 points in Georgia, almost 2 points in Arizona, more than 1 point in Michigan, and then almost a point in Nevada, and almost a point in Pennsylvania. Wowie, huh? And it's trending that way. It's not been that way for a while, trending away. We also show the Democrats pointing their fingers at each other. Democrats already started blaming each other, my friend Eric Erickson writes today in his column. They think the Harris campaign has failed in Pennsylvania. They blame her lame outreach to men. They're starting to bellyache about Joe Biden not getting out sooner. Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, the incumbent Democrat senators are running with Trump on their, featuring Trump on their campaign and their ability to work with him, yet both voted to impeach him. Last but not least, before we go to Trey and Duncanville and your call at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227, do you think Kamala's chances of winning are over, and why? And how brilliant was Trump to work at McDonald's yesterday? And do you think Kamala ever really worked at McDonald's? Since Snopes, Daily Mail, nobody, including the McDonald's franchisees, they got an internal email that's on my Twitter feed. You can read it. They sent out an internal email. They cannot confirm that Kamala ever worked for them. They claim they have no records in the 80s. Do you really believe that from a Fortune 500, probably a top 20 Fortune 500 company or whatever it is? Are you kidding me? Second of all, the Alameda, California store has ordered their employees to not say one word, and nobody has confirmation. Not one coworker has been confirmed to have worked with her. So there you go. Last but not least is this poll on blacks and Hispanics. They are now, it says exclusive poll. Harris and Trump are now tied them in battle for Latino and black voters. The survey puts Harris, this is USA Today. Harris is at 45, Trump is at 44. In August, after the DNC and Harris was leading the president by 5 points, 48-43. Now she only leads by 1. Harris hadn't done well enough to explain the specific policies that she would pursue. 57% of Americans say versus 37% who say she has. So she's 20 points underwater with explaining her specific policies. Those who want to hear more include a quarter of her supporters, 1 in 4. Wow. In contrast, the survey split evenly on whether Trump had done enough to explain his policies. So she's negative 20 points underwater. Trump is 0. He's like breaking even on his policies being explained properly. Harris lost ground among Latinos, says USA Today in their new poll. She trails Trump by 11 points in Latinos in the USA Today poll today. Blacks favor Harris by a 55-point advantage, which is well below a traditional Democrat that gets these numbers. This has never been this low in the traditional Democrat as of recent. USA Today says Latinos and blacks, a shift potential of up to 18 points of Latinos and blacks to Trump. Almost 20 points to Trump. Biden's victory had, listen to this, Biden had 92% of black voters. Today, Kamala only has, 50, hold on. Biden had 92% of blacks and 59% of Latinos, and Kamala has way lower than that. Way lower. I think he's trailing her by, he's trailing her by 20 points instead of the 55 points like they had before. So there's where he's at. And she's at, and there's where she's at. It ain't no good. Trey Duncanville, WBAP, you are on, my friend. What do you got?
I would say that Trump proved that he's a marketing and public relations genius and master. He scored a big touchdown this weekend, and Kamala is a disaster. And she fumbled the ball so many times, it's beginning to be sad. I'm not saying she's totally out of the picture, but her odds are severely reduced. We have to do our job, and we have to go vote for Trump if you hadn't voted already.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about early voting coming up in a little bit too. A listener said, "You don't trust that, do you?" I'm like, I'm going to early vote, and we're going to talk about that. So the lines today were 45 minutes in Tarrant County. And what blew me away is 10% of people don't make it to the polls that intend to because they have an emergency with their kids, with their own self, or there's bad weather, or an elderly loved one falls ill, or they have to have emergency immediate care, or something comes up. That shocked me that 1 in 10 don't make it to the polls on the day they want to go. Do not wait. And we lost because of early voting last time and mail-in ballots. And what we need to do is vote in higher and higher and higher and higher numbers. I appreciate your call, Trey.
Have a blessed day.
You too. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Coming up next, I got two things. Actually, I got one thing. Nothing worked. The New York sex assault case that they brought against Trump with that crazy lady who says rape is sexy. Remember she said that on Anderson Cooper's show? That crazed nutbag who can't remember what year or when she was raped. It's unbelievable, by Trump, which is ridiculous. Stormy Daniels' case. His businesses finds $400 million for a perfect loan. And Jack Smith with January 6th and the documents raid on his house in Mar-a-Lago. Russia collusion, threat to democracy. Dave Bautista saying, the movie star / former WWE, saying Trump's a wimp who has boobs. And all of this didn't work. It didn't work. Why? What is this? We're going to get to that in a moment. I cannot wait to share that with you and see why you think all of this and these amazing efforts still aren't working. Why? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Bonus, Mark Cuban tries to tell us how Kamala and Joe, why they brought in up to 16 million illegals. Why did they knowingly do it? What does Mark Cuban say? What a bad position to be in for him to try to say how awesome these people are. It's not a good look for him. I'll tell you that. 800-288-WBAP. That is next at 47 after the hour on the Chris Rock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. I want to get into this. Look, think about what they've tried to do to Trump. Like, from all these different attempts. They had a New York sex assault case that was by a lady named E. Jean Carroll who said rape is sexy. On the air, I've played it for you a million times with Anderson Cooper, and he's like, we're going to go to a break. He uncomfortably chuckled and went to break. And she couldn't remember what year or anything like that, but that's okay because he's Orange Man and it's Manhattan, so they voted to award her all this money. That didn't stop him, calling him a rapist. Stormy Daniels' case, there's no such thing as a hush money case. Hush money happens all the time. It's illegal, and it's not illegal. That didn't stop him. Business is fined $435 million by Judge Engoron in a rigged case, too, but that didn't stop him regardless. Nobody changed their vote because of that. Jack Smith, January 6th case. All these documents just released more of. There's just nothing in there. There's nothing's happening. That didn't stick. His raid on Mar-a-Lago, where they staged photos, the FBI rigged and staged photos to make it look worse and, all that kind of stuff. That didn't stop him either. That case is gone. Russian collusion. Russia. That didn't stop him. Being a threat to democracy. They're not even saying it anymore. That was their thing for like a year or two. He's a threat to democracy. He's an insurrectionist. And then Dave Bautista beclowned himself by saying that Trump is a girly man. And there was one or two things he said that made me laugh. But the rest of it was like, dude, come on. You're making yourself look like a loser. And he called him a wimp who has boobs. And what else? I'm sure I'm missing some that you want to tell me I'm missing, but all this didn't work, did it? No, it didn't. Why? I'm going to tell you my theory in a moment, but why do you think all this didn't work? Minorities have ditched her in record numbers. Jews, he literally has now, according to a professor at Northwestern, wrote a column about why the Jewish vote has left Kamala in massive numbers, and saying that the numbers now show the highest amount of Jews voting for a Republican in modern history in any ever polled right now, according to that Northwestern University professor who's Jewish, in his column today in, I can't remember where it was, the Wall Street Journal or somewhere. And then none of this worked, all these attacks. Minorities ditched Trump in record numbers. And the Trump haters can't seem to overcome him. Why? And what would have worked against Trump? Since he's not losing anymore, he's winning slightly in all the swing state average of polls and such. What would have worked against him? And what do you think the Democrats could possibly do next to try to stop him in the next 2 weeks? What do you think the Democrats could possibly do? What could they come after him with in the next 2 weeks? I mean, what would you not put it past the Democrats to try? Is there anything you wouldn't put past them? What would you not put past them to try to stop him over the next 2 weeks? Because, they have all these surprises, all these things. I mean, what could they possibly do? Is this it? Do you really think this is it? And why haven't they been able to stop him with all this? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. I think what would have worked against Trump is if they had a strong economy that Kamala could point to. Look at this. George H.W. Bush won one term when he was Reagan's vice president because they wanted 4 more years of Reagan. They had 8 years of Reagan. They wanted 4 more years. They thought he would do it. Towards the end of the 4th year, he was the death knell when he said, "Read my lips, no new taxes." The numbers were in the crapper. Clinton beat him by an astounding more than 100 electoral votes, more than 100 electoral college votes. He had, I think, 390 electoral college votes to like 106 or something, I don't know, or 110 or 120. It was a landslide. So I think what would have worked against Trump is having a strong economy, having low inflation. Think of everything that Trump is highly rated on and wins against Democrats on. A strong economy, low inflation, low immigration would have beat him as well. No wars in the world, peace in the Middle East, No war on our masculinity and no war on our culture. For example, my buddy Eric Erickson writes a column about toxic masculinity, manspreading, mansplaining. That's the new Democrat Party. Putting boys and men into women's sports. For example, the Guardian UK decided caring about your well-being as a man makes you a fascist. Time declared exercise is linked to white supremacy. Newsweek, I worked up over hot girls being a right-wing obsession. Talking about what's the blonde? That's the blonde that's super hot and she's everywhere now. I can't remember her name. It'll come to me in a second. The New Republic thinks red meat is a subtext for right wingism. Democrat Party believes if you want to stay in shape, if you're interested in hot chicks or you eat red meat, you're a toxic, masculine, fascist right winger. Also, if you don't think men can get pregnant, you're a bigot Trump voter. So, a strong economy, low inflation, low immigration, no wars, peace in the Middle East, no war on masculinity, no war on our culture as Americans, and strength projected and jobs that give raises, not lose money at, no matter how much you get a raise. That's what Americans want. And they didn't get it from these people, and she's not able to show how she's going to do differently, and she can't divorce herself from Joe, and she won't. That is why none of that works. The pocketbook, the checkbook matters more than any of this crap to the Americans. Coming up next, do you think Kamala understands how businesses work? And how do you think the economy would be with her in office? Let me give you a hint. I've got the Wall Street Journal editorial board today, Harris versus Trump, the inflation record. That's a hint about how she handles inflation and businesses. Why chains like McDonald's, where Trump served fries yesterday, why franchises and why McDonald's and major corporations and fast food places don't like Kamala and her policies, and why she hurts the workers at McDonald's she claims to care about. I will tell you just how those policies have hurt, according to today's Wall Street Journal, as well as her inflation record against Trump. That is next to the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227.